Hello and welcome to Lightning Lads Ringside Rants. Join us as we discuss our unfiltered opinions. Please press subscribe.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Here with the boys. How you all doing?
Very well, mate. How are you?
Good, very well. Nathan, at the other end of the screen, how you doing?
Hello, all good. Sorry I couldn't be there today, but at least I'm able to get on.
Yeah, he's had other commitments, but thankfully he's managed to jump on. Yeah, boys, less than 24 hours to go to the big weekend. So how are we feeling?
Excited and nervous. I think
To be expected, for sure. Massive
as
weekend.
usual for the MK lot. I think it's good to be there, but obviously, we know on the big occasions sometimes it goes not the way we want. So
No, massively,
in the
yeah.
back of our minds.
Yeah, so I mean, it's mine and Matt's first time going to Coventry this weekend. I know Owen, I think Nath's been, and Mason is with us. He's just stepped out for a bit. They all been. So yeah, we're probably looking forward to it, and hopefully we get the job done tomorrow, and then make the final. But yeah, we'll just have to see how it plays out.
So we'll get into our predictions a bit later on.
Yeah, we're doing that. So the structure, really, we're going to go for a bit of latest news around the league, only a couple of bits, and then we're going for our review of last weekend's fixtures, obviously, which is a penultimate weekend in the playoff groups, and then we'll do our Coventry predictions and players to look out for. So, firstly, the news, breaking news, really from today was that Basingstoke Bison should be back next year. Which, to have that 12 team in our league is only going to make it a lot better, isn't it? So, very excited to see what will happen, guys. What do you think?
An extra stop on the away tour for Owen
definitely.
to go to.
For sure.
I've been there already.
Oh, there you go.
We've never been. So
Needed a remake over. So
yeah, it was quite sad, really, wasn't it, to see that the ice rink just got left to ruins in the end, by the sounds of it. So yeah, feel for the Basingstoke Bison fan base and obviously the whole management team structure there. But no, it'd be good to have them back. Nate, what do you think about that, mate?
I'm excited, very excited. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see when they last played because just didn't really get round to it. So I'm excited to see them come back. Hopefully, they can put together a strong team, strong management, and they can fight for the title, hopefully, or just see what they do in the first few years, and hopefully they do well for themselves.
Yeah. I mean, I think they'll be looking to sort of rebuild. Obviously, new team. They may well get in some of their old players that they had sort of a few years back when they did come in the league. So yeah, I think if they even manage to get to the playoffs next year, then I think that's a massive boost to the club. And then that's what they probably in the league, to have Basingstoke fighting in playoffs. It would be interesting to see how it works, though, with the groups being how would they structure it, because obviously you can't have 9 teams then going into playoffs, so they're going to have to make that 10th team in there potentially, or they do cut it down to 8 and there'll be 4 that misses out. So that obviously will come, I'm sure, from the NIHL in the off season. So yeah, no, that's feel very good to have that back before playoffs in Coventry. Obviously, the last bit of news really that we'll bring today is that obviously we knew early in the week Adam Leishram left the Raiders. Big miss. We all love Leish because obviously Lightning player a few years back. I believe he played in the squad when we last was in Coventry finals.
when we was in the Coventry finals in
22 was it when we lost to Sheffield
22,
Steeldogs on there. So yeah, we obviously all the best for Leish, whatever he does, whether he decides to continue his ice hockey career where he steps away and does something else. Obviously we've heard his replacement, which was announced I think last night, in Jason Buckman. We don't know too much about him, only because we obviously don't follow the Raiders, but I know he was obviously the coach of the Buccaneers for a few seasons, so I think he knows the Romford setup. Nice style of hockey. So what do you boys think of that?
I think Romford will miss Leishman because, at the start of the season, we didn't know that's going to be a club.
Yeah.
To come in, last team to go and sign players, not the biggest of budgets. But he's done a great job when he stepped in, got the team playing. He's been unfortunate with injuries over the season.
Yeah, but they seem to find a way, don't they? They found a way to get to playoffs. I mean, to be fair, they only deserved it as well. I mean, the game they did against us that first weekend. I mean, wow, they come out the traps, being 4-0 down inside the first period. You thought that was curtains. For them to come back was just phenomenal.
And never give up, always fight. And as a first-year coach in Leishman, you can't complain.
No, he was very good. What do you think, Nath?
I agree with everything that's been said, to be honest with you, but I just hope with new management coming in, they can keep the team how it was last year, keep that strength, keep that mentality, and hopefully push more again, try and get a bit higher up in the league and go for the cups again. Because I definitely think that they could potentially win one if they can stick together and have a good off-season. So.
For sure. I mean, very close. I mean, last couple of years, obviously, they made the Coventry finals. That was a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
They got the Coventry finals last season.
Yeah.
They played the Leeds Knights
in the final a couple of years ago, didn't they? And they were very unlucky not to win that, to be fair. So, as Nave said, they'll be looking to definitely collect a trophy next year if they can keep the core of the squad. I think Shaw Miller, Sheffield, Reed Morrison is going to be interested to see where they go. They might be tipped to go to bigger clubs.
I think if you're going on to the Romford current players, TJ Anderson and Miller will be the main two to keep an eye on during the summer.
For sure. Yeah.
If they can stay or go.
Yeah.
Reed Morrison won't have done anything wrong in the playoff season.
I mean, he was fairly quiet, I thought, at the back end of the actual regular season in playoffs. Where that form come from? I mean, it's insane, isn't it? To think that he scored 4 goals twice, was it? Against us over the weekend and actually in one game, I think. But yeah, it's crazy. That sort of brings the end to just a bit of news. Didn't want to bore you too much with it. But I think what we'll do now, we'll go on to the review of last weekend. So obviously on the Saturday, obviously we did the Friday one last week. So obviously you guys know what happened there. So yeah, we go on to the MK Sheffield. Obviously we all went on there. We kind of almost knew it was going to be routine. But obviously Sheffield come out the blocks fairly quick and stunned us with a 2-0 lead, didn't they, guys?
Yes, I think it was, what we done to Sheffield on Friday night in their own crowd, they done back to us on Saturday in our own barn.
Yeah.
Sheffield now, they've got nothing to play for. They have the big boys back and they've just come out and give the last away game a go.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't even think we started slowly. I think we started fairly well. We just had the puck up our end of the ice.
They were very clinical with their 2 goals.
It was
very unfortunate to concede the first goal.
Yeah.
Headley dropping it from his glove.
Yeah, it was just a tap in, wasn't it? It was just, what happens, doesn't it? For the rebounds on there. But obviously we scored to get back in, I think, at the right times. I think we scored right at the end of the first. And then again at the end of the second, which then builds up to obviously momentum, doesn't it? So
the other thing in the second that builds momentum is Gulliver dropping the gloves. Which obviously where I was standing and we were all standing, apart from I think Nathan Mason had a good view of it. But it sounded like a hell of a fight. I'm guessing that was right, Nate, from what you saw.
Yeah, honestly, the whole game it seemed quite tense, especially when we obviously went 1-0 down and then 2-0 down. It started to look a bit squeaky bum, to be honest. But then we seemed to pick up momentum, come back, fighting. We missed a few opportunities in the first period. Don't get me wrong, but you can't knock Sheffield for how they played. They played really well. We just seemed to pick up momentum late. And just personally, I think we dominated them in the second and third, but they didn't play a bad game at all. I think we were just a step more, and we wanted it that little bit more because we had something to fight for.
Yes, for sure. And then he sort of saw that, I think, towards the sort of the end of the first, when we got our goal, and we came out very strong. Obviously, Sheffield defensively played extremely well, I thought. I mean, it was only in the third period where I think, whether the boys knew what was happening in Romford, Swindon, sorry, wasn't it? 'Cause I think it was they played Sunday. So yeah, on in the Link Centre on the Saturday. So wasn't sure what they thought, whether the result got given to them in that
I would
sense.
imagine that it probably did, given like Swindon game finished as we were in the second intermission. So they seem to come out after that and play with a bit more relaxed.
Relaxed
a bit more
hockey.
freedom.
I think Wallace would have told them during the second break, go out there, get the win, give the crowd the win they deserve, following a really good, successful season.
Yeah, no, it
Fortunately,
was.
we managed to just lose out on the league, but we've made playoffs. Go and do our all now.
Yeah,
and give the fans something to cheer for.
Yeah, and we were saying going to Timmy Wallace. I think he was huge over the weekend. I think for us. I mean, on that Friday, he took the ball by the horns. Really did make a difference. Potentially, we missed him in the other 4 games previous, but again, you just don't know, do you? What will happen? It's so easy to think that, but no, I think he made a huge difference.
I think going on to Wallace, I think he made the right call in dropping himself for the first 2 playoff games against Romford and Swindon, because it gives Spadafor the opportunity to play.
Yes,
and you look at Spadafor's profile; he's used to playing that kind of hockey. From where he's come from.
Yeah,
he's used to them nice, tight games, competitive games, strength. You've seen that. He's shown it, but Wallace proved the point.
He did. Yeah, I don't think he proved
the point why he should still play and.
Yeah. It's the experience of what he did. Isn't that right, Nath? Yeah, you're a big fan of Wallace and what he does.
I think Owen said pretty much most of it. I agree with him, but I think Wallace plays better in these games where there's a bit more pressure because he seems to calm everyone down. But sometimes I feel like I felt a bit bad for Spadafor not being able to play as he's worked so hard this year, but I definitely think Wallace putting himself in was the best and one of the reasons why we are through to Coventry personally. Some of you might not agree, but that's just my opinion. I think without Wallace in the playoffs we would have struggled a bit more because he has been very clinical and calming everyone down and playing out, so I'm really impressed with him. To be honest.
Another one. Now, not a lot of people agree with this, but I would have liked to have seen Spadafor and Forsberg play and seen Lawrence dropped a couple of times. I don't think Lawrence had proved a point very much this season. An import.
Yeah, I mean, I know he was injured a lot of it. He did his shoulder in sort of midway through the season. I think Lawrence was one of our best players in playoffs, to be honest. I mean, he has all of a sudden stepped up when he needs to. I mean, that slapshot goal in Swindon was, I mean, the power he gets with just a flick of the wrist is just a joke. I mean, he can do that with a click of a finger. Like, that's kind of what we need. I think that's why he's in this team quite a bit, because he brings that level of skill and mentality to do that.
Yeah, I think, like, obviously last season he ripped up with that top line with Herman and Venus. So we were kind of hoping for more of the same this season. Because it kind of got in the way a little bit. So.
But we'll get into sort of more of the who we think might be dropped and played out of the imports for Lightning when we get into our Coventry predictions. Obviously, the other side of our group obviously was the key game, really. The Swindon Raiders. See, Swindon just needed a win to guarantee top spot and the final 4. Raiders obviously needed to better Lightning's scores and unfortunately Swindon have been all playoffs and majority of the season so strong at home, guys.
Yeah, definitely. I think Lightning made their playoff campaign when we beat Romford in the doubleheader.
Yes,
As soon as you beat Romford at home and away, you've got that standard mark. If you win one more game, 9 times out of 10, you've made the top 4.
Yeah. No, it was as I say. I think that helps. It helps a lot of teams, and we all knew. I think we'd be silly to discount Raiders when we saw the groups. I think Swindon and MK would have both been a little bit hesitant playing Romford the way that they've been doing over this season. But no, I think they just fell away. at the wrong time, and I think Swindon, with a little bit of pressure off them, they just kind of got what he needed to do.
Got the job done.
So
picking up 2 assists.
Redimar, what a keeper! I mean, we'll go through again, as you said, about all the players to watch out for in the final four. But yeah, Redimar, what a netty!
He's a good netty. Going back to the Lightning game, I don't think we tested him enough.
No,
Against the keeper, you can't be trying to walk it in the net. You've got to be firing shots from the blue line.
You got to get the rebound, don't you?
You've got to be there to tap it in. 9 times out of 10, you shoot on goal, you're going to score.
Yes,
it's partly a testament to Swindon's defence as well as our lack of ability to take a shot.
Don't be there for glory. Be there.
Exactly. Yeah. What was your thoughts on the Swindon game? Sort of similar to us.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think Swindon are just an all-round incredible team. I think there are parts of their game where they struggle a little bit, like every other team, and sometimes they're quite open. But at the end of the day, I think they are, if not the best playoff team in our league, because they just seem to turn up. They absolutely thunder the points in. They get goals. They play hard hockey, and they are just generally I think personally, a very, very good team. And in playoffs, they just seem to get better.
Yeah. I mean, they've got. I mean, we'll speak about it, as I said, more later. But I mean, what Aaron Nell brings on the ice and off the ice, he's built that.
Aaron Nell's the standout for that.
Yeah, he's built that team this year, and so what a job he's done. So move on to the other group in Group B. Again, 3 teams had something to play for. Obviously, Peterbrough, Leeds, at Breton. We thought, to be honest, guys, it would be a little bit closer than when it was. It's crazy what playoff hockey does, but Leeds showing their
losing at home.
No, and Leeds do what Leeds do, don't they? They're a machine. If they need a result, they'll go and get it. And 5-1 is massive. I mean, definitely huge for them, wasn't it?
I think the standout result in that was Telford Telford winning 7-6.
Mm-hmm.
Was it 7-6?
Hull beat them 7. Hull beat Telford 7-6.
Hull beat Telford 7-6. And Telford are normally a team that turn up for the playoff hockey.
Yes,
they always do.
Yeah. I mean, so I thought Peterborough would want to get the job done. As we know, they turned it around and won at Leeds. But we'll look at that in a minute. But I say I don't know if Sam Gospel did play, didn't he? This one. So again, the defence of Leeds.
Outstanding natty, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean quality. Leeds all round. Bissonnette, arguably at the moment best player in the playoffs for sure. I mean, he did phenomenally well. I think there were 3 Bs. I call them Barron, Brown, and Bissonnette. Without those 3 in the sides, they're a different team. Those 3 are just unreal, and they come together and got the job done. The whole game, I mean,
a wild one.
For both games, must have for a neutral. Wow, I mean, I know that Telford didn't really have anything to play for apart from pride, but my God, did they turn up on the big stage to upset Hull, which eventually they did. But I think Telford were 4-1 or 4-2 up, and going
Telford
into the
currently 4-1 up,
which was
then
6-3. I think
Leeds got it back. And Telford just took the lead.
Yeah, I mean, Telford. It was just crazy, and to go out in Hull to show the resilience to come back from that, and to get the win in obviously the shootout, which they had to win regardless. I know, obviously, seeing the result in Peterborough, they must have been really buzzing for that and thinking, "Well, we've done our job now. Leeds have done us a favour, and we're in it."
Yeah, I don't think they'd expected Leeds to go back home and lose on home ice.
Well, no, but I suppose that's playoffs, isn't it? You worry about your own fate, not other teams, and I think that's exactly what Hull did in the end. As we've discussed, Nate, the whole game was just crazy, as we've just been talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what. It's a hard one for me with of the other league, because if I'm honest, I kept up with it a little bit, but didn't see too much. But some of the results were amazing. It's like you look at it and you're like, well, how's that happened? And
it's mad. Yeah,
I think they've all that league part was definitely the more everyone had something to fight for. When obviously in ours there was a couple of teams that were a bit like that. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. It's hard. I think Hull got unlucky, but then they got lucky, and then Leeds being Leeds. Do you know what I mean? It's a hard one because obviously I didn't really keep up with it, if I'm honest with you. But
no,
I was more interested in the Mighty Lightning, but I needed to have a look, which was what I was trying to do, but I couldn't do it quick enough.
No. I mean, I don't know if I'm a Hull. I mean, I'm not a Hull fan, but if I was, I don't know if I'd be disappointed with the season or not. I mean, they had the squad to go and compete for the league a lot better, and the cup. They didn't even make the semi-finals of the cup, I don't believe, this year. The playoffs, they actually came out in the group stage, and obviously the league, I think they finished fourth. So I mean,
yeah.
I want Hull to do well because obviously we've got Bobby. I like what they're doing, what Matty Davis is doing there, but I just can't help think they might be a little bit disappointed with not making it.
About Hull, I think personally, they've had a very poor season.
Mm.
Going into the season, I said from the start they'd have the best summer. They brought the best players in.
Yeah.
Look at their lines, and there's good 4 or 5 players I'd like to sign from there.
Yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Standout players
To get someone like that.
Unfortunately,
they were top for a while, weren't they? At the start of the season.
They started off really well,
and
didn't they? And then it just Leeds and MK and partly Swindon as well just took over, I think, and it was.
They started against Bristol, I think. Was it? They had a double header in Bristol, and I think they went pretty clear top.
High scoring game in Bristol. Yeah, we know that too well, don't we? But so that brings sort of the Saturday games, and then obviously the Sunday. Obviously, Lightning had it off because obviously the Saturday game on there. But the other one, obviously, Raiders. They put a good show, didn't they? Even though they knew that they were out at that point. But Swindon obviously rested their Rennie Marr. I think Tyler Perry was in there.
That's not a bad keeper. He's a good.
No, yeah. I mean, they had nothing to play for, so to do it in front of their own fans, fair play to them getting it to a shootout. Swindon would have rested a few players, but to go win every single game in the group that we had, wow. I mean, to get 12 points, that's seriously impressive, isn't it?
Hockey. You come into an ice rink like MK. MK got a very good home record.
Mm-hmm.
Romford at home, that's where they majority of the time get all their points.
Yes, yeah.
Sheffield out of all them is the easiest rink to go to.
I was surprised that the fan base there, bless them.
A lot of their fans.
The Steelers.
It's tight for Sheffield because a lot of their fans were going with Steelers.
Yeah, and I think they've got a great little club there, the Steeldogs. I said I love going up there. I mean, we've been up there.
It's a nice place,
nice people, nice place. So hopefully the Steeldogs will be back. But yeah, what performance from Swindon. And then going back to the crazy game, Telford 9, Hull 7. I mean, that is for Hull. They knew that
neutral. That's just a brilliant game.
Yeah, what a game! I mean, I would have wanted to go to for us, wouldn't it? We had no game on the Sunday. Wouldn't that have been a treat? But Hull, I don't know even if they won, but even though Peterbrough did win, whether Hull won on the Sunday, whether they would have made it or not. I don't know. Do you know, Nath? Was that have been possible?
I think they had to win by like 8 goals or something. They had to score 8 goals. There was some sort of math in it involved, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's definitely down to goals.
Yeah, so it does look like then even if they did win, they probably would have just missed out. But either way, you want to try and you should want to try and get the win, wouldn't you, on there? But Telford, as we've said in the last week's podcast, Tom Watkins is Telford in any point is they're a nasty team. They're a team you don't want to come up against.
They're a very young team.
Yeah, they've got the two imports that they brought in. Was it David Thompson and Eric Henderson?
Yeah.
What a difference they've made!
Thompson,
Wow,
I think Thompson's been Telford's game changer.
Yeah, since them two came in, I mean, that's the reason they got playoffs.
Overtime goal he scored against MK back in a few weeks now.
Yeah.
But
they've been, I say they're unlucky. So hopefully, if Telford can keep a couple of their imports,
they were needed this season.
Yeah,
I think they struggled quite a lot this season, I think.
Yeah,
they seem to have brought it back. So I'm happy for them. I hope they can just take that into next season. To be honest,
for sure, they need to keep their players, don't they? And hopefully they will. Top Watkins will do what he needs to do. And then obviously, not a shock, but Peterbrough getting what they needed to do at Leeds. I mean, Leeds, we would have dropped a couple of their players in the sense of not giving them much ice time because they knew they finished top and they qualified. So Sammy Gospel would have been rested. Harrison Walker, who is a fantastic number two. He's a young guy coming through, which no doubt will eventually be number one as and when Sammy Gospel decides to call it a day on there. But fair play to Peterborough, doing what they needed to do, going to Leeds and still getting the job done.
Yeah, it was quite a shocking weekend, to be fair. I thought Peterborough would have got the job done at home.
We both said that. We all said that.
Yeah. Got the job done at home.
Yeah.
I would have shared the points.
Yeah.
But it's the other way around. And that's playoff hockey.
It is. It's Slava hockey.
Yeah.
Slava grinds out a result when he needs to, and that's why they're going to be very dangerous for the game against Swindon in Coventry, which brings us nicely to that. So obviously, we can sort of rest easy a little bit when we had our last game of the Saturday of 5:30, but I don't know whether that's necessarily true. We just have to see. But we'll go on to Swindon, Peterborough. This will be sort of our predictions really now on there. And then our players to look out for, which we'll do after we talked about the Leeds MK game. So I'm going to let you guys start on this one. What do you think it's going to bring Swindon Peterborough?
That first game, Swindon Peterborough, is got goalie battle written all over it for me.
I see.
Both goalies for those two teams have been so good this playoffs and all season really. And I think it comes down to just who can take their chances.
Yes,
I think both goalies have been on fire. So
it's I mean they have. I mean, Owen, similar story. You reckon?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a game that sets the tempo over the weekend.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's going to be an import game.
100%.
Whatever import turns up, if it's for Wildcats or Peterborough, will be the team that go on and win.
Yeah. Nathan, your thoughts on the game, Swindon Peterborough?
I think it's going to be a close one, personally. I think they're both going to come out fighting. Peterborough want to retain, obviously, after last year. But then Swindon seem very, very hungry for it this year. And like Owen said, it's going to be a import battle. They've got so many good players, no matter if they're import or Brit. But I think Britnell will stand out. I think is it Hoff for Peterborough?
Cam Hoff, Cam Howe, Hoff, one of the two. Is it Howe, Hoff? Quality player.
Very excited, to be honest. Very excited.
So we'll start with you then on the predictions as we go. See what your prediction is for that game and who, for both teams, who is the players to watch out for. So one player from each.
One player from each. I will go. So am I saying the score first?
Do the score first. Yep.
I will say. I'm going to say 4-3 Swindon overtime.
Oh blimey!
I think it's going to go to overtime. And I think players to look out for, I will stick with my Jake Britnell for Swindon. Yeah. But I'll also say, after Luke Ferrara last year, I'd say Luke Ferrara again. I think he turns up, he controls that team and he knows what he's doing. He's the league. I mean, he's just an immense player. So that will be my...
Yeah, good shout, captain. Yeah, Bricknell, unbelievable player. Really, really good. Owen, what do you think?
I reckon it's going to be a tight game heading towards the final 5 minutes. I think it'll be 3-3 going into the final 2 minutes of the game. Swindon will have a power play. Swindon will pull the netty, and Peterborough will get a short-handed goal.
At 3-3, you reckon Swindon are going to pull a netty at 3-3?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So
That's an interesting. That's very risky, isn't it? Yeah, if they lose it from them. Wow. Okay. That's. And who are your two players then? One from each.
For Peterborough, it's again. I think the obvious one is Cam Howe.
Yeah.
Goal scoring, but I like Tom Norton.
D-man, proper good D-man, isn't he?
He's old. He knows how to physical battle. You know.
Yeah.
I think he's the leader at the back. But I also like Luke Ferrara as well. For
Peterborough. There's a handful of players, isn't there?
But then for Swindon, I think the main one is Malajinsky.
Oh, yeah.
Personally.
Goes on her. Yeah, he's sort of this season under the radar, well and truly. Seen enough in playoffs. Yeah, he's a quality player. But yeah.
Turns up at the big times.
You'd expect him, yeah.
But another one I do think will be a standout will be Ed Bradley.
Yeah, and to go get another one that goes paired very well with Ryan Wells.
Yeah. I think you've got to keep an eye on his blue line shot.
Yeah.
Going forward.
Yeah. Matty.
Right. Well, I think I've got Peterborough winning this one, edging it.
4-3 again.
That does well. I say like
that seems to be going to trend at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm going to say that they're going to win a close battle. Hard to see it not being close with the defences on show. And I'm going to say 3-2 Peterborough.
Okay, overtime, shootout, regulation.
If it's 3-2 going into the last few minutes, they might get an empty net goal. So they might go 4-2. But
love an empty net.
Yeah, we all love an empty net, don't we?
My players to watch are the goalies. I've already mentioned. I think it's going to be who comes out and performs.
Yeah,
and I think both of those have been on fire this playoffs and most of the season. So
no, great show. I'm going to carry on the 4-3. To be fair, I think it's going to be 4-3 Swindon, exactly the same. I think what they've said. It's going to be. I almost can't call it. I mean, they're both very much.
This, though, isn't it?
It's as I said early on in the season, we can get these 4 teams in the final 4. It's going to make it could be the best Coventry weekend yet with the two matchups. So I've gone 4-3 Swindon. I don't know whether it's regulation, overtime, shootout. Obviously, they've changed the overtime ruling, so 10 minutes, 5-on-5.
I'm not a big fan of that, to be fair.
No, I was a bit sort of eyebrows raised on that.
Rule.
But I think Swindon will do it. They're in the form side, but again, we're not going to be shocked if Peterborough do it. My player for Swindon, I think I look up other podcasts of mentioning Ryan Wells.
Yeah.
Wow. Arguably best player in the league. Definitely defensively. Does so much defensively and up the ice. Scored a very good goal against us at the link to actually get him back into the game and on a power play. So Ryan Wells for me. Another important player is obviously Aaron Nell, who was going to be my main players to watch, but because again he's the coach. What he's done with that Swindon team this year, coaching wise, building the team up. Wow, he really and on the ice he is one of the coolest guys to have in your team. And for Peterborough, I'm going to go for Nathan Salem.
Yes,
I think Salem goes under the radar, but my word, he does score some important goals for Peterborough. I mean, we've known him too much in Hull, especially last year. Same's a gritty player. He's the sort of player that will win you games. So I've gone for Nathan Salem with that one. But no, can't wait for it.
A good game
on there.
Yeah. That's going to be a quality.
At least we can enjoy watching that, and hopefully it's a humdinger in preparation of the big one.
The 2 of us.
Yes, split between us.
Nathan and Nathan's gone for 4-3 Swindon. Me and Matt.
I went for
4-3 Peterborough.
Yeah, so it's going to be. We are going to do a little thing.
Beers.
Yeah, with the 5 of us. whoever gets the correct results, there will be beers flowing. So if you do see us, then we might be a bit sort of worse for wear at some point of the weekend, depending who lost the bet. But going on to the big one for us anyway, the one that I was hoping we weren't going to get at the start of the playoffs, but it's what it is. So obviously I'll kick this one off. I've ummed and ahed throughout, and I think we will do it, the Lightning. And I know people are going to say we're going to be biased, as we're probably all roughly going to be the same. But I just think we will do it. I think we will do it 6-3. It's a big score line, but I think this is the sort of game that we will turn up with. We've got Ross Venus that knows the rink. We've got Jordan Headley that's played there before. We've got obviously Shawnee Norris played there last year with Guildford. So I think we will do it. Leeds obviously are not going to make it easy, and it quite easy could be 6-3 Leeds at the end. So I'm banking on us getting the result. So we'll just have to wait and see. 2 players. So for the Leeds, again another D-man, another import, Noah McMullen. Again, rivals sort of Ryan Wells with the best D-man in the league. He's so assured defensively. Wow, I mean, he's one that we've kind of hoping that we would get. Obviously, we got Forsberg halfway through the season, which is again another one which we could talk about all day. But yeah, Noah McMullen for me is the player to watch. Obviously, as I said earlier in the podcast, the 3 Bs: Bissonnette, Brown, and Barron. What a front 3 to have. So yeah, McMullen for Leeds and Timmy Wallace for MK. I think obviously if he turns up and actually plays, we don't know yet. Obviously we'll find out sort of this time tomorrow, hopefully. But if he does play, then he could be the difference maker with his experience. And I think he probably will play. Unfortunate for Spadafor if it is Spadders that drops out, because we all love him as a fan base, quality player. But in these big games, I think discipline is going to be huge. So I go for Wallace. But on to Matt.
I got Leeds as favourites for this just because of
makes sense, doesn't it?
League champions, they're cup champions, they're on for the treble, and we struggle against them at times. We've proven that we can beat them, but we also know that they can beat us.
Yeah,
they've got great goaltending. They got great defense.
Yeah,
and they roll 4 lines like we do. They have quality all through their lineup. And
their third line is just
Ollie Endicott, for example. He knows what he's going to do. He's going to wind you up.
He's the rat, isn't he?
He's going to get his team power plays.
Yeah.
Just by getting under the opposition's skin.
Hell of a player.
He's my one to watch, just so you're aware.
Yeah. I kind of hinted that from what you were saying yesterday that you'd go for Endicott. But
yeah, when it comes to predictions for this, I look at kind of how the goalies have performed stats-wise in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And because we've done a tandem, they've faced 1 more shot than Gospel and conceded 6 more goals. And Gospel's played 1 less game.
Yeah.
So Gospel is clearly on form. He's doing well. We need to make sure that we back I would assume Headley is going to be the number 1 going into the game.
That's the debate, isn't it? I mean, I think the Sheffield games kind of solidified that spot for him. I think he was outstanding. To concede 3 goals in the weekend. I think he had
32 goals on Friday.
32 shots, yeah. And then it was something very similar. So out of the weekend, phenomenal.
I would say you back Headley. The defense have to be solid for him as well.
Yeah.
You look at the 2 goals on the Saturday that he conceded, they were kind of out of nothing.
Yeah.
He didn't have, it seemed like there wasn't the clear up support.
Yeah.
If he happens to drop it, that first one was an unfortunate error, but there was no one on our D sweeping to get
it. Yeah, it's the sort of.
If we can tidy that up and we can play a solid defensive game, stay out of the box. That's a big key for us if we're going to win.
The biggest thing we need to do.
Because that is key. The discipline. Yeah,
Leeds have been almost automatic on the power play.
1 and 2, I think, isn't it? Almost.
Yeah. So that's a big. I think that's a big key, and I think if we play our game, I don't think we've shown our best game for the whole 60 minutes.
Yet. No, not yet.
We've had glimpses.
Now we've got the time to do it. It's tomorrow.
If we're going to do it, it's on a Saturday. I've got us winning 6-5 in overtime.
Oh, we can't have that. I mean, the heartstrings are going as it is, let alone going to overtime.
I think it'll be scoring.
Yeah.
I think it'll be back and forth. And I think that's more my heart hoping that we'll edge it.
We're all probably in the same boat, aren't we? We're all gonna.
My head could easily say we'll get blown out and lose 7-3.
Yeah. But we got to back the team, don't we?
Yeah.
We'd be silly not to. And your lightning player, did you say your lightning player to watch?
So my lightning player to watch, I'm a big fan of Malik Martelli and how he plays his game on D. Be interesting to see if he can have an impact on the weekend.
Yeah.
I know a lot more kind of spotlight will be on Forsberg on the back end because he has proven that he is a solid performer,
and he's had a head of the playoffs,
and he quarterbacks our power play most of the time.
Yeah.
But I think Malik can step it up and really have a good game.
Yeah.
Owen. Yeah, just going on to what Matt said. I think over the last 2-3 months, Martelli's been the best player in Jersey going forward as well as defensively. Going on to the game, I think it's going to be the first period is going to be a battle for both teams.
It has been, hasn't it? A lot of games we've played, it's been a battle, hasn't it?
I think it's going to be the game that both players want to step up to the mark. Both teams are going to try and cancel each other out. It's just going to be hard hitting.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hard hitting first period. Tell each other, look, I'm here. It's not going to be an easy game for you all night. Let's go for it.
The tone's got to be set quite early on in this game, doesn't it, for both sides?
Yeah, definitely. I think for my players to watch are, for NK Lightning, the obvious ones is Jordan Cowney for his goal scoring this season, as well as Sean Norris. I think he can step up to the mark. But I like Venus. I think Venus will be the outstanding player for us this weekend.
Yeah, I can see that.
And Forsberg, if you get him the puck on that blue line, he's going to fire, and he will fire.
We've seen it already in this playoffs. He can hit
the only way you're going to beat Gospel in that net.
Yeah, hopefully get a rebound as well. If that causes a rebound, and as long as we're there on the goal line to poke it in, of course. Yeah.
For Leeds, I think, as Matt said as well, Ollie Endicott. I like him because I think he's a very underrated player.
Yeah.
He doesn't get a lot of you know what I mean.
Yeah, the credit.
A lot of credit.
I mean, you look at third line. I mean, they got Inns Gallagher, Finley Braden, who hopefully Nathan mentions him. We've sort of forgot about him, but what a player Finn Braden is like as well. Another B, and a Bo Neely if you want to go for the Bs as well, which is another one. But that line.
Finn Braden's going to be a young player for the future.
Yeah. What a player he is.
You've seen that at under 20s international GB.
So,
but for my Leeds players to watch, I think I like Endicott, like we said. The obvious ones are Gospel and Kieran Brown.
Yeah.
If you keep them two players quiet, you'll beat Leeds.
Yeah. And obviously, there's one player that obviously is going to want to impact this weekend is Matty Hayward.
I'm going on to that now.
Which I know we haven't talked about this on this podcast, but Matty, what a legend.
I love Hayward, but I really hope Lightning ruin it for him this weekend. I wanted to go there.
It's cruel, isn't it? It's
not very nice. It's not a nice thing to say, but let's be honest. We don't want Leeds to win the treble.
I've said this all along.
Not after having a really successful year we've had. I don't want Leeds to go and win the treble.
If we get knocked out, I want Leeds to win the treble. That's my. If we get knocked out by them, I want them to go on and do it because it will just be phenomenal for ice hockey and for Leeds.
But I'm also going to say that if we're going to lose to anyone,
Lose to Leeds, yeah. No, that's just no harm in that, is there?
No, definitely not. I think a player to keep a big eye on this weekend for Leeds will be Ethan Herr.
Yeah, he's another battler, isn't he? Him and his brother. I don't know if his brother Dylan still plays, but they're two very underrated, feisty little players.
Jordan Griffin at the back.
Yeah.
I think if you wind the player up, he's going to be there. He's going to be there,
isn't he?
But I see it being a very tight overtime win to MK.
Oh, so you're still going 3 out of 3 MK then?
I think MK will win it 4-3 in overtime.
4-3 coming back again. Our favourite numbers. Going through the ringer on that. Yeah, it's wow. Yeah. Right, Nath, you're the last one to bring
down to me. I think it's going to be possibly the game of the playoffs. I think it's going to be tight. It's going to be hard hitting. It's going to be everyone on both teams is going to want to win. Leeds want the treble. We want a trophy. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard fought. And I think if we can keep our heads, stay out of the box. Same for Leeds. If they can just do that, it's going to be a quality game. Because as soon as you see someone in the box, momentum goes, and you can pretty much see the game just game over, really. Because we've seen it so much this season where it has impacted the game massively and teams come back. But I think it's going to be. I shouldn't say this, but I think Leeds will go into the first period and they'll go 1-0 up. But I think the game will end 3-2 to Lightning.
Oh, so a comeback.
But I think they'll be 1-0 up first period. We'll come into the second. We'll get one back, and then third period is where the goals will start coming in, because that's where everyone's going to start going for it. I know I shouldn't say we're going to a period losing, but come on, it's Leeds. They're incredible. You got to give them the respect they've earned. But
they did deserve that for sure.
Yeah, but what I'd say for one to watch for Leeds, obviously, like you said, James, I was going to say Braden, but I'd definitely agree Braden still, but I'd also say keep an eye on Matt Howlett.
Yeah.
The wings, so quick, so talented, definitely knows what that ring's like, and saw it last year. He's just unstoppable when he wants to be. And I'd say MK. I'd have to go with Norris. I think how he's been so far, he's clinical. He seems to get goals when we need him to. And this playoffs, I personally think he's been our best player. Minus, obviously, like Martelli in defence, Headley in goal. He's had a slip up, but he's doing a lot better now. And you know what? I just hope for a really good game. Personally, I hope it's fought out and hopefully get to the final on Sunday. But yeah, I'll stick with them.
I think the atmosphere will be good.
It will be, as I think a couple of other podcasts have said, it will be MK against the rest of the rink. And that's what we love as fans. We love the banter, and obviously we will be there nice and early tomorrow, and we'll be bringing the atmosphere. We'll be in all of the atmosphere. I've personally never been to this weekend, so to see what it's like for the first time, I'm buzzing for it. But yeah, the atmosphere is going to be electric, and let's just hope that we can spoil a lot of parties tomorrow.
Yeah, I really hope NK do not feel the pressure from the crowd. But with an NK, it's going to have a big crowd.
It's going to have a big crowd. That's going to spur them on. So I think that's.
So I hope it puts it in the right direction, but I hope it doesn't put too much pressure on them. Like, look how many fans are here. We've got to go out there and win.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope that gets sorted out. If that was the case, but I think that's going to wrap it all up. Obviously, it's a bit of a long one, but it's what we're going to try and do anyway. With our future podcasts, sort of in the start of the season, we're going to do our final review tomorrow after the MK game. So yeah, you'll be able to see what we think, who the two finalists, and what our predictions are on that. But yeah, we'll be there nice and early tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be about with Weatherspoons and Samoa Joe. So no doubt, yeah, we'll talk to a few fans and get their opinions, which is always welcome. So I'll see from the lads. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe. And yeah, we'll catch you all tomorrow. Take it easy.